The year was 2235, and the Outer Rim mining colony on Titan was about to experience something its workers never could have anticipated. For the past 200 years, Titan Station 27 had been quietly mining precious minerals beneath the surface of the massive moon, providing energy for humanity's ever-growing reach across the galaxy. But now, something else had awoken beneath the icy crust. Day 1 Discovery. It started with a seismic tremor. Captain Mira Chin, the head of the security team on Titan Station 27, was on her regular rounds when the tremors hit. Alarms blared, and a crack appeared in the floor of the central dome. All systems flashed red. Power flickered, and the crew's voices filled the radio chatter. "We've got an anomaly in Sector 4. Sending drones to investigate," Mira said into her wrist comm as she surveyed the fracture in the floor. Her eyes narrowed. Titan was notorious for its storms and frozen terrain, but this was unlike anything they had experienced. Minutes later, a team of drones sent back their findings. A vast cavern had opened up far below the surface, and strange readings were coming from inside. Day 2, the descent. The mining overseer, a stoic engineer named Ellis, was convinced it was nothing but a new deposit of minerals. "Let's go in, extract what we can, and reinforce the structure," he said. But Mira felt something was off. She ordered her team to gear up and accompany Ellis and the scientists down into the cavern. Equipped with exosuits and headlamps, they made their way to the edge of the dark abyss. The descent was slow, with the team rappelling down through layers of thick, frozen sediment. Then, halfway down, something strange happened. Their lights flickered, and an eerie hum filled the air. "Did you hear that?" one of the miners whispered. They reached the cavern floor, and before them was a massive metallic object, a structure buried for millennia, pulsing with faint blue light. Symbols covered the surface, alien and unrecognizable, unlike anything humanity had seen before. "Ellis, this isn't just rock," Mira whispered, scanning the glyphs that glowed under her hand. Day 3 Contact. They reported their findings back to the station, and within hours, researchers were flooding the cavern. But the strange hum grew louder, as if whatever lay within the structure was waking up. The lead scientist, Dr. Alara Voss, deciphered part of the alien symbols. "It's some kind of message," she said, her voice cracking. "It reads, 'Do not awaken the darkness.'" Before they could react, a loud screech echoed through the cavern, and lights went out across the station. Communications failed. A moment later, the metal surface cracked open, and a wave of freezing energy burst forth, sending them scrambling for cover. Shadowy figures began to emerge, hovering, translucent beings made of dark energy and stardust, their forms flickering in and out of sight. "Get back. Run," Mira shouted, leading her team towards the safety ropes. But as they ran, one of the figures reached out with long, ethereal arms, and a blast of icy darkness struck Ellis, freezing him instantly. He crumbled into a pile of frost and ash. Panic overtook them. Myra's team fired their pulse rifles, but the shots went straight through the shadow figures. In moments, the shadows surrounded them, closing off every exit. Day 4 Escape. Dr. Voss remembered an emergency beacon deeper in the cavern, a last resort distress signal that could reach nearby stations. With no other option, Mira and her remaining team fought their way through, using flares to ward off the shadows. The creatures recoiled from the light, giving them a narrow path forward. They reached the beacon and activated it, but the shadows continued to close in, faster and more aggressively than before. Just as Mira thought they were trapped for good, the station's power surged back on, flooding the cavern with blinding light. The creatures shrieked, dissolving into clouds of mist as the light hit them. Dr. Voss stumbled to her feet. "The light, it's their weakness," she gasped. Day 5 Aftermath. Hours later, a rescue ship arrived, pulling Mira, Voss, and the few remaining survivors to safety. As they lifted off, Mira glanced back at the dark, gaping hole in the ice where the structure lay buried once more. The rescue team set demolition charges, collapsing the entrance to the cavern. As the last blast echoed across Titan's frozen surface, Mira felt a shiver run through her spine. She knew they hadn't destroyed whatever lay beneath. They'd only buried it deeper.
Epilogue.
Back on the main ship, Mira watched the surface of Titan recede into the distance, feeling the weight of her decision to leave the anomaly buried. The alien warning echoed in her mind. Do not awaken the darkness.